Hello students, welcome in this online session of 8th standard. Now the lesson which we started in the previous lecture, that was lesson number 6, the effect of British rule in India. We will continue this lesson today in this lecture, and also I hope that you are feeling good at home, you are feeling fit and fine, and you are maintaining all the rules and regulations which we are actually knowing already since from the days of this COVID-19. Now what we need to do here today in this lecture, you just need to sit quiet and focus in this lecture. Also you need to take your notebooks to write down some detailable points, and also to get some extra knowledge you can keep your textbook along with you, while I will make you to refer your textbook from this lecture, and also I'll try to maintain all the kinds of rules and regulations including the information also in this chapter. So students, let's start the chapter. This is lecture number 2, as you can see that, and today's topic I have already mentioned in this criteria of this blackboard. Now what are the today's topic? Let's see about the today's topic. Today's topic is depending over the lesson which is named as effect of British rule in India. So destruction of the Indian trade and the industries. Now this topic already I have discussed, I have not went through it thoroughly, but I have discussed about this topic in the earlier of my previous lecture in the part number 1. Now today we'll go through with this first topic, that how and what are the details when Indian industries, trade and business all deteriorated, or we can say that it was dropped down only for the Indians, but for the Britishers it was profitable. So that also we will understand here. Along with that, the plight of the cottage industry in India. We'll see that what was the plight of cottage industry in India, why the cottage industry in India became so poor, or became we can say that like a curse for the Indian people itself. And moving further, then we'll be going to the suspicion about the reforms, means which kinds of doubts were created in the Indian people mind regarding the British reforms, British updates towards the Indian premises, and also British education. So this is not the it where we will end the lesson here. We'll also go with the main person who is also named as William Bentinck. What was his work regarding Indian customs, civilization, people, reforms, mythology, and many more things. And also we'll see that the negative point and the positive point related with the William Bentinck, that you should remember the name also here. So my dear students, one thing is very pretty sure and common, as I have discussed in my previous lecture, that the Britishers came here not only to get the advanced materials or the money, they also came here to learn our skill, and also to get the materials which are very highly available in India but rarely available in the other part of the world. So also we can say that the Britishers were somehow regarding some information to come and establish their industries in India. They were also knowing some kinds of theories about their own detail, that we will be profited in India, will get all the profitable things in India, and also the people of India are going to give us the cooperation. They were thinking like that. So as we read in the lesson number part number 1st of this same lecture chapter number 6, that how Apurva is teaching, or we can say that we can say Aruna is teaching to Purva. You know, when Purva is asking about that, mom, please tell me what is the meaning of revolt. See, till now I am just making a recap regarding the lesson, and then I will be moving further towards the lesson and including all these kinds of topics here. So as I can say that the destruction of the trade, or we can say Indian trade and industries in India, felt very highly damaged in India, but we can say that we were doing some kinds of work for the Britishers here. So here I would like to tell you that the handloom of India. Now what is the meaning of handloom, my dear students? Handloom means the materials, the clothes, the artistic thing which is made by the hands. Okay, so the handloom of India supplied textile and many more things towards the Britishers and toward the England also. As well we can say that it was going to the India Asian market, European market too here. Now what was happening, see, at that point of view we can say that Britishers were targeting that which kind of materials are very highly in demand from the India, which kind of materials are actually grown in India. And meanwhile they came to know that the traders from the European countries used to come in India for these kinds of things only, so we should also go there. So therefore what was the reason that traders from the British, from the Europe, from the Portuguese, France, Dutch, Holland, why they came here? Because they were getting jute, they were getting silk, they were getting woolen materials, they were getting cotton clothes, also cotton materials, and we can say they were also highly in demand of the silk, or we can say muslin from Dhaka special. So the Britishers were thinking that okay, from the point of view of textile we can go more further, we can enlarge our empire. So therefore the soft and dedicated muslin was also one of the term of matter, we can say that material, which was also somehow attracting these Britishers to come here from the Dhaka, especially the muslin which is available from the Dhaka. So therefore we can say that not only that, apart from that we can understand that okay, from the textile industry to the commodities, to the spices also, to the salt also, we can say such as salt, saltpeter, then sugar, leather, or we can say other pearl, diamond, gold, jewelries, many more things was here, silver also. So we can say that we're also somehow now these all the materials started to export on the enlarged tremendous amount to the billions of the amount to the Britishers, or we can say England or Asian market, European market also. So in this while there is a simple we can say answer from our side, we can understand that all this materialistic thinking, people, their artistic work, handloom, production, everything was profited but for the Britishers, not for the Indians here. So here the lesson is actually trying to make you understand that destruction of the Indian trade and industries was started due to emergence of the British rule and the British people also. See my dear students, one thing is very easy, pretty short and clear, that whenever if outsider or if invaders are coming to any zone of nation, to any category of the nation, they are actually coming to just to get all the kinds of benefits here, because without the kinds of benefits they are not going to come here. And also we can say that okay, they are not going to establish this industries here, as I am telling you, they will be also not able to establish this industries. So in this case of condition, the Britishers came here to deteriorate our industry, to take all the productivity material and to also take profit from India. That's it, what we need to understand here in the first topic. So we can say that the whole scenario changed out. So it changed that British rule were implemented everywhere. Now when the British rules were implemented everywhere, there was a systematic theory that whatever will be done, whenever will be done, whoever will be doing that thing will be taking permission under the British Constitution, or we can say under the British rules and regulations, that was East India Company. As you have also known that there was a rule passed in Agra that you need to salute the Britishers. Whenever you see them, you need to salute the Britishers here. So we can say that this is the general thing which is actually bringing us to go on the revolution track here. So my dear student, we can say that the flow of billions of the golds and silvers and got reserves also. Somehow in the beginning of the industrial revolution, the Britishers took 500 crore. How many? That is 500 CR, that is crore rupees as per today's standard, we can say that, only from the Bengal. Now you might have known about 1905 Bengal witnessed one of the very heavy destruction about the we can say like flood and many more other things like drought, not the flood. As you can understand, the industries were in the Bengal also, but industries were not working in that much of category. Farmings were like in the like cottage farming and industries were in the Bengal also, but after this kinds of revolution they were deteriorated. Bengal shine was losing out. So if you go more further, we can say that the standard only of the Bengal was now going down, and therefore just to imagine what can be the wealth of the Britishers could have accumulated from India, how much amount of wealth, like if they are collecting 500 crores as per today's currency from only one state of Bengal. Can you imagine the whole India gave what amount of money, gold, productive raw materials and many kinds of things here. So this all the activities relating with this kinds of theory of the Indian League under the British premises here. So we can say that the whole country was in the hand of the Britishers, and therefore India was suffering lots of amount of problems also, my dear students here. So with the help of raw materials, if you talk about the raw materials, do you know the meaning of raw material? Raw material means what? The materials which are directly produced from the agriculture or from the farm or from directly from the, like we can say that they are produced from the core of the earth, from the part of the earth, okay, and they have generally gone towards the industry to form into the new reformed material. So therefore we can say that, okay, with the help of raw materials product in the Indian land, or we can say India, and the money collected from the Indian businesses and all were somehow, we can say, carried out to the England for the England's prosperity. Materials also, money also, tax also, manpower also. So that is the general thing here, and their mills started processing also. Processing means what? You know, the mills started to process these kinds of materials. Like if a farmer is giving me, as I'm a Britisher, just for example, raw materials like cotton crops and all, then I will try to build up the threads by that. I will make it more to the trousers, shirt, pant and whatever other things, and I will sell it in a high amount to the Eurasian market, or we can say Australian market, Dutch market, any market. So therefore we can say that the cloth manufacture in the England was imported in India without laying any kind of duty or custom tax. But when they were coming in India, they were taxed upon 80 to 90% also we needed to pay out here. So we can say that when the materials was going from India to the Britishers, they were generally making them into the clothes, and when these clothes were coming back to India by the help of industry, you can understand, back to India by the help of industry, they were not paid any tax to enter in the Indian zone. But if you talk about, okay, the clothes manufacture in the England, the clothes manufacture in the England was imported in India without laying any tax or the duty on it, whereas there were taxes upon 80% of the clothes manufactured in India. But the clothes which were manufactured in India, they needed to pay 80% of the tax. Can you imagine? 80% of the tax means it's a very large amount of the tax. Per 1,000 you have to give like 800 about just tax here. So that is very dangerous enough. So we can say this was a pure partiality. This was a pure haterism from the Britishers to the Indian, and the Indians to the Britishers also. So therefore we can say that, okay, these are the general things which we need to understand here. And apart from that, okay, as a result, India and Indian industry slowly deteriorated, or we can say they also came under the control of Britishers. See, my dear students, this lecture is all about to understand the strategy of the Britishers, and to also understand the condition of the Indian people, and also to understand that why Indians are supporting Britishers, how they came under the rule of Britishers. This also lecture is all about to make you understand about the theory of that. So therefore we can say that the Indian handicraft and the cottage industry could not withstand with the competition with the Britishers and all, and they could not stand here. So therefore they gave themselves to the Britishers here. Many of the skill-based industry of our countries, like textile industry, or we can say glass industry, paper industry, mineral industry, shipbuilding industry, etc., got ruined due to the politics of Britishers. And also we can say that the lakhs and lakhs of the skilled people sat at home, they became unemployed here, and gradually the people of India, they became very poor by paying this kinds of tax also. So if they are becoming poor, you can understand what will be the condition of the nation. If they are becoming poor, means if we all are becoming poor, our nation, how it will stand very prosperously? It is not possible to stand here, because most of the tax, most of the profit from the land, everything was given to the Britishers, and the industries which we were having now also, they got control over the industries here by the Britishers here. And our handloom people, or we can say handloom cloth materials, or we can say that like artistic materials which are slow enough to produce products, were somehow dropped down due to emergence of new technology, machineries from the Britishers. So we can say Indian artisans, gradually poor workers became more poorer, and the rural areas of the India become poorest among the other part of the nation also. So therefore we can say the condition of India was very bad at that time here. So I hope this much you can understand here, but if you don't understand, I will make you a shortcut to make you understand, my dear students, here, that one, you should assume that the Indian people, Indian industry, British industry, okay. Now British industry is paying no tax on that, so it is providing all the materials to India, and it is taking 80% tax when it is actually trying to sell Indian materials in India. Means if the Britishers material are coming in India, they don't need to pay any tax. But if the Indian materials are sold out in the India, they needed to pay the tax here. Not some tax, 80% of the tax. So slowly what happened, the Britishers sustained their market well, and the Indian dropped down their market only by paying the heavy amount of tax and without getting any kind of profit. So Britishers controlled Indian industries also, artisan, farmer, other laborers, they sat at home, and now India was once again, you can say, in the full control of the Britishers here. Now in this meanwhile, we need to understand suspicion about the reforms, doubt. Now one person I will introduce here in the lecture, that's name consisting William Bentinck. Remember this name here. When William Bentinck came to India, liberal thinking was started here. Liberal thinking means liberalization, and liberalization means the thought of friendly relationship, or we can say that the thought of merciful relationship, okay, giving some kinds of liberty to the Indian people also. So therefore we can say that, okay, he was getting a stronghold competition in the England, and this is why thinking slowly reached in India. So we can say liberal thinking was getting its stronghold in England, and now when he is coming in India, he is bringing some kinds of new strategies. So we can say British rulers started talking, or we can say started taking interest in the life of the people of India, like Lord William Bentinck. Now which kind of thoughts were there? Like Britishers thought that, yeah, we should help them. We should help them in the condition why they are following the sati system, why they are following the Doodh Piti system, the killing of the girl child. Then why they are thinking about not widow remarriage system. We should think on that. So William Bentinck is also one of the ruler, or we can say one of the person who actually gave us some kinds of good theories here, and also gave a good mentality to India. But the people of India, they were thinking that no, there is a doubt. I think he will change our religion, he will make us Christian. So therefore we can say that there was suspicious doubt about the reforms of India, that you should know about that. So moving further, my dear students, here he interested in the life of people, custom of Indian people. Lord William Bentinck became quite popular in India by introducing few beneficial reforms. Beneficial means profitable reforms. One side, when the Britishers were ruling and taking every kind of material, giving no mercy towards the Indian people, one side Indian people were reformed, or we can say getting profit by a British person only, and he was Mr. William Bentinck, or you can say Lord William Bentinck. So it was a two sides of a same coin. So therefore we can say that, okay, during his tenure, or during his time, Indians started getting jobs in the company administration also, as well Indians were profitable also, and Indians were also allowed to use their mother tongue, Hindi, English, or we can say English is not our mother tongue, Bengali, Odia, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, okay, or any other language here. So jobs in the companies were also given there, so Indian people were quite happy with them. So making effort to stop the evil practice of sati, Rajaram Mohan Roy came here, and he also advocated regarding this kinds of old mythology, orthodox thinking towards the William Bentinck. And furthermore we can say that Bentinck agreed to make the effort to stop this kinds of system, and in the 1829 to ban the practice of sati, he also passed a rule or a law of act also. So therefore we can say during his time William Bentinck made lots of reforms here. So William Bentinck can be adjusted, or we can say he can be consisted as a person who came good for nation of India, a person who thought good for nation of India. Also if you go more further to the other rulers, if you talk about, they are not like him. They were quite different with the mentality, and they were having a different strategy of just getting the profit. Means they came here for the selfishness, but he was quite selfless. So if you go more further, we can say that English ruler tried to eradicate the social custom also, and evil practice as per the will. Social reforms were made here, and somehow we can say that the orthodox class witnessed these reforms as auspicious, or we can say suspicious also. Suspicious means It was like they were thinking that okay, William Bentinck is a new person to India, and he is not knowing about the custom, about the communalism of India, religion of India. So he is actually destroying our religion. But can you believe, my dear students, today which we are living in the world is very updated world. Are you ready to get married just in the age of 8-year-old, 9-year-old? And the answer is no. So who broke these kinds of rules and regulation? Indian people, but the help was given by the Britishers also. I'm not telling that the Britishers were good enough to maintain all these kinds of things. They were bad. But some people among them were good enough to bring new technologies, to bring new reforms, and to also change the mind of Indian people who are just thinking the old belief, orthodoxy thinking, dowry system, sati system, and many more systems here. So we can say that William Bentinck proved himself as a right person for the Indian people and the Indian premises here. So the company had passed a resolution to spend ₹1,00,000 on every year on the education, but it was implemented somehow slow. But it was like not implemented also. According to by the force of William Bentinck, we can say that the company said that per year ₹1,00,000 will import or we will spend on the education of Indian people. But later on, due to some kinds of circumstances, it was not yet approved, and so we can say that somehow finally an education committee was formed. So now it is not possible to just give money and people or the students will study. There should be a proper committee. There should be a proper community working in the committee. Assembly should be there. Right people, judgment should be there. So therefore, my dear students, here it was started by him only, and now Lord Macaulay is introducing himself. As you know that today's syllabus, curriculum weightage, and also the system of education was designed by Lord Macaulay. So we can say that okay, this was the condition where William Bentinck he is bringing some kinds of new reform, including the change in the educational purpose, because he was thinking that unless the Indian people are not subjected to literacy, they are not going to school, they will not attend their own maturity of the thinking. That's why he is working hard for our people. And also some of the people like Rajaram Mohan Roy and all were supporting him so that he could understand the real cultural value of India here. So therefore we can say educational method of educated by Lord Macaulay could not benefit the youth, and Indian lost the advantage of acquiring the ancient knowledge also. So sometimes problem was also there, like we were losing to read Sanskrit and all the handful work, we can say that. So like we were just going with the book through. So therefore we can say intellectual and many more things were changing, and the method of the British education system was opposed by number of people. Among the number of people, we can say Mahatma Gandhi was also there, and Mahatma Gandhi said that okay, giving Indian education to the Indian people is like enslaving billions of the Indians, or we can say billions of the Indian people, million and billion of the Indian people. So this was said by Mahatma Gandhi. But later on we can say that okay, they have not enslaved the people, but later on we can say 3 major universities were established here. So we can say that English education along with the universities were established in the year 1857, that you need to remember out here. So therefore we can say 1857 was a very good year for us, for the industrial purpose also and for the educational purpose also. But if you talk about the 1857 revolt of Mangal Pandey, it was very bad enough, because they just lost the battle here. So here we can say that the Britishers could not educate workforce due to the introduction of the English education also, and along with the other side, it also developed nationalistic thinking among the people and also elected some of the educated people here. Means one side we can say the feeling of patriotism came out in the Indian people, among the Indian people. Other side, that same Indian people were going and studying the English education, so that unless they will not understand the Indian, we can say like they will not understand the language of Britishers, how they can fight, how they can find out their strategy. So Indian people also supported partially, not properly. So we can say that in this lesson, that is the suspicion about the reform, some rules and regulations are jumbled, or we can say which are not acceptable. Like some of the people were following the education, some were not following the education. Some of the people were thinking the good of the Britishers, some were not thinking here. All the Britishers are bad, but some of were good also. Mahatma Gandhi ji was also not supporting the British, but somehow he was also supporting. So we can say that it's like a mixed story. So you need to read it very carefully here. In the last, we can say 1857 was the very final year when the universities were started here regarding the English education under the League of William Bentinck as well as the Lord Macaulay. So we can say many machines were also invented to facilitate industries here in India. Transport, trade, and we can say communication developed in India. Telegraph, we can say telegram service developed in India, and also we can say considering the convenience in the running administration, the strategic importance for the military, British introduced railway in India also. Means, my dear student, they thought that India should be also benefiting with the fast communication system, transportation system. So they bought telephone also in India, telegram also in India, telegraph also, and also they thought that here still something is lacking here in the Indian industries, manufacturing, and the productivity also. How the products could be carried from one place to another, it is not possible. So under the League of, we can say, William Bentinck and other people here in the year 1857, in the year, you need to remember, 1853. 1853 is a very good year for us, because we can say that in this year from Mumbai to Thane the railway engines were started here. Means we got the railway system here. So that is the general thing which we need to understand. Okay, in this year 1853 the new reform took place in the place of, or in the phase of Indian railways here. So my dear student, we need to understand that this all the theories and relation with theories is relating with this kinds of custom reforms, and also some kinds of, we can say, belief about the theories, and many more kinds of reforms also. And also if we go more further, this was the year not only, we can say, reform related with the railways, it also made us to experience new advanced development in India. So therefore we can say, in order to maintain an effective control of the Britishers, or we can say control on the exchange of the Indian commodities and all, the message with the neighboring territories were also sent out that modern methods of machines and also post telegraph were carried out, and they were running thoroughly. Message of the Indian industries, neighboring countries, neighboring territories were also taken out, product and raw materials, then manpower was also exchanged. So everybody was having good enough to sustain their life in India here. So we can say along with the post telegraph were also introduced in India in 1854, just after the railway. 1854 new technique came in India, that is known as telegraph, to transport a short message. Also we can say printing media started here, printing press started here, then curriculum of the newspaper also started here, that is like circulation of the newspaper in the Indian market. And also along with that, the reform were actually convenient for the British rule, but actually India turned benefits of it afterwards. Means India was getting somehow benefit. Actually when Britishers were needing to try benefit themselves, India was also updated, you can say directly or indirectly also. So therefore we can say the class that acquired the English education spearheaded the social reforms and nationalism in the Indian society. Since India, we can say, we were more familiar with the strategy, with the contemporary development, and also with the world of the British around us, and therefore the post telegraph and brought people more closer, so that we can say post also telegraph, then telephone, this service made people more closer. English education made people to understand the British strategy also, and therefore we made our very powerful impact on the Britishers. Because in the ancient time there were no newspaper, there were magazines which was published privately. So now if Britishers are starting the newspaper system, we can transport our message. The mistake which we did in the 1857 revolt should not be created. That's why we used newspaper. You know the mistake of 1857 revolt? We were not coordinating with each other, and we were going to fight with the Britishers in the several different group on the different time. We were not having one schedule, we were not having one army. But after the newspaper, we all got the same message. We can transport message, we can get message also. With the telegram, we came in the closer contact with each other, and therefore we made our own nationalism of India. Therefore in the, we can say, revolt of Indian independence, we made Britishers to go out of India. So the story's moral is that Indian people actually indirectly got benefits of the reforms which were directly bought by the Britishers. I hope this lesson is very interesting for you and you also enjoyed the lesson. New reforms also you studied about, and I hope that you will learn more details about William Bentinck by yourself using the internet or the social media also. So student, I am taking leave from here. This is the 6th chapter of the 8th standard part 2 English medium SS, and we'll see some other chapter, fresh new chapter in some other lecture. Till then, you can keep care, maintain self-distancing, and don't forget to revise and write down the notes about the SS textbook and the syllabus also. Okay, thank you. Jai Hind.